Hey everyone, welcome to the International Association of Woodcarving. I'm Ducky. Some people know me, some people don't. If you know me, you might be lucky or you may not be lucky. So, but I'm here to tell you about my wonderful journey from start to finish, and hopefully somebody will get something out of it and maybe assist somebody along the way.
All right, you all, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for coming in today on this Saturday afternoon. Hopefully it's sunny where you are. It's a little cool here in Bristol, Tennessee, but still a good Saturday. I know everybody is excited about some of the wood carving events and stuff that are going on in your area. If you get a chance, make sure you go out and support those guys. I know there's a show down in Hickory, North Carolina going on today. I think Dave Stetson just had a class this morning that started this week. I know that the Renegade just finished up, so welcome to you all that were at the Renegade this past week. Midwest Artistry and Wood and Craft Show is going to be next week in Belleville, Illinois. That's October 28th and 29th. So if you get a chance and you're in that area, make sure you go check that out. Just encouraging everybody to go and support these clubs and shows. We kind of had some downtime there where a lot of clubs and shows were canceled. People were getting back out to those things, so make sure you take a chance to go visit some of those sites. And I think our visitor, our presenter today, is going to talk a little bit about what he's doing. We'll go ahead and tell you today on our meeting, we got Chucky Ducky Schuck. A lot of you all know him. He goes to a lot of the events around. He's going to be joining us here shortly. I want to tell you about some of the things that are coming up. Next weekend, we'll have Ashton Brown on from Badger State Blades. A lot of you all know her knives. She's going to come on and talk about what got her started in knife making and tell you a little bit about where you can pick one of those up. On November the 4th, I'm going to be going down to the Mid-South Wood Carving Show in Alabama. That's Tommy Thigpen's home show, and I'll be doing a demonstration down there. I'll be down there all weekend. We'll do our live meeting from there that Saturday. My demonstration will be on Friday at 10 that morning, so look forward to that. Then Timmy Youssef is going to be coming in on December the 2nd. He is overseas, so again, I'm going to remind you all, this is truly an international group. It's the International Association of Woodcarvers. Timmy comes to us I think from Europe. I'm not sure exactly where. I'll let him share that with us when he comes on, but he does some great work. So we're looking forward to having him on. Like I said, Dave Stetson started his Santa class today. Hope you are participating in that. Dale Green has a class coming up on December 2nd and 3rd. It's Light the Way Santa. And then I think Janet Cordell has a horsehead class that's coming up probably early 2024. If you're interested in either one of those classes, reach out to the instructor, contact them, and try to get signed up for those. Any other workshops that are coming up, I'll try to bring those to you as we find out about them. There should be more stuff coming towards here at the end of the year. So today on, again, we've got Chucky Ducky Schuck. Before he comes on, I want to tell you a little bit about an auction that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a two-knife auction today. So the auction will cover both of those. If you're interested in the knives, you have to bid in the chat. Highest bid will win. We'll call the auction at the end of the meeting, and I'll go ahead and show you those. These knives, the handles were made by Ducky, and he took them to Rich at Helvey, and Helvey sharpened them. So here's the first one. Looks like about a 2-inch blade. Yeah, right at 2-inch blade. Again, nice handle there. Got a different butt stock on the end. Again, made by Chucky himself. And then here's the second one. So both of these knives will be the auction. You'll get both of them. And if you'll place your bid in the chat, high bid will win. The winner will need to pay for those by PayPal, and I'll get them shipped out to you first thing on Monday. So you should have the knives probably by no later than the end of next weekend. And unless you're overseas, and if you're overseas, it takes a little longer to get them out there. So having said all that, thank you all for coming in today. Chucky, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you and let you get started. appreciate you taking time out to come in and present with us again. I know you just got back from the Renegade. Chucky travels around a lot of places, so look forward to hearing from you and hearing what you have for us today. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to you, brother.
Thanks, Blake, Dave. I appreciate you guys letting me come and tell my story about things. This is the International Association of Woodcarvers. It is a great program that these guys have started. It gets a lot of information out. I do promote them as much as I can to other people when they start asking me about where do you get all your information? Well, here it is. The international guys. Blake goes out and tries to find as much information as he can to get it out to everybody as best he can. And Dave does all the stuff behind the scenes, and you never can do anything without the guy behind the scenes. Don't pay attention to the guy behind the curtain. My story. Oh, I could sit here. If everybody that's met me in person knows that I can talk for an hour. That's not a problem. I will try to keep it short. I will not use any sailor type words, so nobody will get offended. My story starts way back when I was just a young fella. Anybody that says that handicapped people can't succeed, they're wrong. I am the handicapped guy that started out way behind the scenes when I was a young fella. I know a lot of people do not realize that back in the 60s and 70s when I was growing up, nobody knew what ADHD was, dyslexia, none of that stuff. But I really was considered, when I tell people I rode the short bus to school, I really mean it. I was considered back in the 60s as a little retarded kid. That's what they called us back then. Now we're just the handicapped kids, but you can grow out of it and you can be successful. So that's where I started. And thank goodness that my mother was a very big supporter of me and kept me going a long, long time. So how does the journey of wood carving start, though? I started out at a very young age with my uncle sitting under a big oak tree and a pocket knife and a stick, just like anybody else. Then we moved on. I know Chris Gardenia is a big supporter of the Boy Scouts. I started out as a Cub Scout. I sure wish I still had that knife when I was a Cub Scout. With soap carving, that's where I really got my biggest start, is with soap carving way back when I was a kid. The next thing, that if you fast forward to 1973, I found out another story this weekend. My father took me, or us as a family, to a place called Silver Dollar City. It's up in Branson, Missouri. And going through the park, there was this individual carving, of course, inside the park. And I just stood there for hours watching this guy carve. I found out this weekend, this last week at the Renegade, from Roger Stiegel, that that guy was most likely Harold Inlow. I don't know. I was 13 years old. I didn't pay attention to the name. All I know is he was carving and I loved it. So I went home and tried to do stuff there, but I couldn't carve like him by no means at 13 years old. So then I got lost in the sports world. Yes, I couldn't read very well. I still can't read very well, but I was extremely good at sports. So I got caught up in the world of sports and lost sight of carving, lost sight of all kinds of stuff except sports. Fast forward to 18 years old, when 1978, I joined the Navy. Spent 25 years in the Navy. I am a retired lieutenant. I was a master chief before then and got a commission. Bad mistake. Stay enlisted. Sorry, Colonel. I know I know you want to promote the officer world, but I believe in the enlisted world. In 1997, I went to another place that's kind of a country place called Dollywood in East Tennessee. Um, Another guy was sitting there carving, and I got way more involved this time. Uh, After I got out of Dollywood, I went roaming around. Of course, the East Tennessee area is big in carving and stuff. I know they got a great, wonderful club uh, run by JR out there, and many, many other guys, Dean Irving, Phil. Uh, Great club. They just had a great show. I hope to make that show next year. Um, I found this whittling shack of some type. I don't know what it was in 97, but I bought 4 knives then. Um, they were called whittling jacks. I had no idea what type of knives they were. All I know is they look cool because I've always liked knives. So I bought them and I started carving, and then I got lost in life again back in the Navy. So here I go, fast forward to 2009. I went out and thought I was going to set the world on fire with carving again. I bought this book right here. This is a book I bought in 2009, and I thought I was going to carve all these Santa Clauses right here with these 4 knives I bought called Whittling Jacks. This book is Santa Carving. It's by Ron Ranson, and I went out. I cut out these patterns, and I got the wood. And, found out that I should use basswood and everything, and I got it and I started it. Awesome. Except life got in the way again. So finally, in 2018, when I finally retired out of everything, I was a police officer at the time, retired out of the Memphis Police Department. And that, if anybody knows anything about Memphis, it's not a real good city anymore. Let's just say that if Elvis was still alive, he would not live in Graceland. So finally in 2018, I called it quits. And I always said that when I retired, that this is what I was going to do. I was going to sit here and I was going to carve all day. Well, guess what? Everybody wonders why I get so much done and I go everywhere. It's because I carve all day long. That's what I do when I said I was going to do it. That's what I'm doing. But I didn't start out real good. I started out with the 2018. I knew nothing about the carving world. So when I started out in 2000 or 1997, of course, the internet really wasn't even heard of yet. 2009, things got a little bit better, but 2018, of course, we all know that the internet was zooming. And there was this wonderful, wonderful thing called YouTube. So being a fairly technical guy, I can't read very well, but I know I look like a big dumb redneck, but I do have a degree in electronics. That might surprise some, that might not surprise some. I don't know. So I started searching this YouTube thing, and that was a big, big help. I knew nothing about knives. I knew nothing about art, drawing, anything. I just said, this is what I'm going to do. So I started researching the different, or actually looked up, okay, this is what I want to do, blah, and did bring up all kinds of things. 2 notable people that came up at the time. One of them was a Bruce Ankeny. He was on there, and of course, I'm one of them guys that love gnomes, and I was just, oh my God, overwhelmed with what he was doing at the time. Didn't know him, couldn't pick them out of a lineup at the time. I just thought, wow, these gnomes are awesome, and I want to carve these gnomes. That didn't go over very well either. But he did, with the types of knives that he was using at the time, I knew nothing about in the videos. I said, I got to find these knives. I don't know if anybody knows anything about Google, but you can Google just about anything. So another carver that I found at the time was a guy named Cousin Jack Loring. Um, and he got me started in a drawing, how to draw a pattern and getting it carved. And it wasn't very good. Hold on, I'm going to grab that real quick. Jack's two carvings that he showed one carving. This is the carving, one of the very first carvings after 2018 that I started. This, he came up with a pattern, drew it. I duplicated it as best I could. And then, of course, I put it on a 1.5 by 1.5 inch piece of wood, and this is it. Well, after that, I thought this was the greatest thing I ever did. And I thought, well, let me do that again. So I did one for St. Patrick's Day, and it turned out the same way as the other one did. So that was the start. But the biggest thing that I found that I didn't know in 2018 is knives. And as much as I love knives, I just started researching them because everything that I watched on YouTube, the biggest thing they said was, you need a sharp knife. It's as simple as that. Nobody said anything about brand names or what type of knives. It just said you need a sharp knife. And being a knife guy that I was, not in carving knives, I just started researching everything. I knew nothing about carving knives. Come across this guy from Alaskan woodchuck, James. I think his name was James Massey. He's not on YouTube anymore. James Massey did a lot of stuff, demonstrating different knives and evaluating them. So I started learning more about names, and when I got the names of different knives, that's when I started doing more Google to find out where I could find them. Some of the knives that I found, and some of them are still some of my favorite knives, is I found a Dave Lyons knife. Awesome knife. I still use it today. That's one of the very first knives that I bought. And then I found this knife made by the Shipley fella. Never met Shipley, but the OCCT knives. Excellent. Excellent product. I would say personally, now that I've gone through this, that the OCC knives are probably the best knives to start with if you don't know if you want to continue this process or not. It's not a low-end knife, but it's a good knife to buy in case you ruin it, and it's not that expensive. So that's where I started out with the OCC stuff and the Dave Lyons. I got some Ferguson knives. I even bought the Beavercraft knives, some other stuff off of Amazon. Wow, that were, I'm sorry, but they were garbage. Beavercraft is a great knife to practice with, reshaping a blade and sharpening it to see if you can do it. So after I found these great and wonderful knives that helped me out a great deal, I've actually finished that first carving that I started with the snowman or the Santa Claus from the Blue Book, Ron Ransom. I don't have that Santa Claus anymore because I gave it to my son, because in 2009 that was supposed to be one of his Christmas gifts. But here's another one that I carved in 2018 from the same book. So this is what I had in 2018. After I started back up, you can tell it's exactly straight out of the book. but it's not one of my best things if you ask me, but it's a start. So you only can get better from here. The very first carving that I did was really, really bad. Hold on again. I actually did a carving. I wanted to kind of sort of make it look like me. Boy, this is terrible. But hey, it's my first carving after I got the Dave Lyons knife. I said, "Oh, I've got to try this." Now, if you look closely, you can see the eyeballs are poking out. I knew nothing about setting an eyeball in a head. Nothing, absolutely nothing. I thought, "Oh, that looks good." And of course, the nose almost looks like a carrot. So you can start out with something like this and get better. I will tell you, the best thing about carving is to practice. I don't care if you practice 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, carve all day. Don't give up. You will get better. Uh, Later on in the presentation here, I will show you a lot more stuff that I've been doing and getting as better as possible. Uh, along the way, I found another carver on YouTube. If you haven't figured this out, YouTube is your friend. If you can't leave your house, you don't have a lot of money, YouTube is your friend. Use it. There's a lot of videos out there that are free. Now, if you want some awesome CCA type carving, the Wood Carving Academy, I'm going to promote the Wood Carving Academy because I personally think it's awesome. You can buy the prescription. You can buy 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, a year. If you go on that site, if you pay the yearly fee, I think it's $149 or something like that. You can watch any video on there that they release anytime you want, and you can start it, stop it, do whatever you want to do, and it's awesome. It is worth every penny of subscriptions. By the way, I'm going to promote quite a few things, but the Wood Carving Academy is one of the best things you can get, even as a beginner. I don't care if you're a beginner, an intermediate, an expert. You need to be on that site. It really is. It's worth every penny. It really is. So a lot of the CCA guys, of course, are on there. That's all. And there are a few non-CCA guys, but they're all fantastic, incredible carvers. It's as simple as that. So save your nickels and get on that. Matter of fact, I'm in a class right now with Dave Stetson. It took me 2 years to get into his class because for some reason in the carving world, not Dave Stetson, specific, but in the carving world, everybody overlaps everything. And sometimes you have to pick and choose what you want to do. And finally, his class, I've been wanting to take one of his classes forever, but finally his class came up and there was nothing else overlapping. And I was like, oh, awesome. So anyway, that's what I was doing prior to this presentation. So Wood Carving Academy, excellent. Get on it. It's one of the best things. YouTube, the Wood Carving Academy, two of the best things in the world. So I met another carver on YouTube. His name was Roger Stiegel. Not only is he a phenomenal carver, but he had a video on where he walks around this event that he was at, and it's called the Wood Carving or the Renegade Roundup. When I first saw this 3 years ago, I said, oh, how do I get to this place? If you want to get better as a carver, The only thing that I can tell you that helped me, I know not everybody's the same, but if you want to get better as a carver, you need to go see people and sit next to them and watch them do things, and then you try to duplicate it. Now, notice what I said, try to duplicate it. I did not tell you to try to carve like them. That is one thing that I did when I first started. I said, I want to carve like somebody. I just happen to think Dwayne Gosnell is probably one of the best carvers around, and I wanted to carve like Dwayne Gosnell. Well, that's the wrong attitude to have. What you do is you need to go sit by these people. You need to watch them. You need to see what they do. You try to do what they do. Then you take all of these people that you've watched carve, and you take what you like from them and combine it all together to make your own style of carving. You need to carve like you, not Dwayne, not Dave, not Blake. You need to carve like you. Don't try to be another carver. It doesn't work. I promise you. I tried it. It doesn't work. So getting back to the Renegade, I'm going to promote this one and the Utah event out there at the Rocky Mountains. Two of the best things you can go to. Save your nickels. I know not everybody's wealthy. And trust me, I'm not wealthy either. But I do know how to save my money to be able to go to these events. Okay? And it is the best week you're going to ever have. I promise you. You're going to carve for probably about 6-7 hours out of the day. And then if you want to, if you're real energetic, you can stay after the event ends at 4 o'clock during the day, but you can carve up until 8 o'clock at night if you stay. And the instructors, most of the instructors come back after they eat dinner and they give you personal attention. Like Dwayne, for example, Dwayne Gosnell, he will sit there and give you instruction for 4 hours, you personally, if there's nobody else around. He'll show you stuff that you've never thought possible in a carving. Now, I've also noticed that there's other people that do the same exact things, other CCA members that do the same exact things. So they will sit there after hours and show you all kinds of stuff. So save your money. You know, these events happen. The Utah Rocky Mountain happens once a year. The Roundup is twice a year. So save your nickels, and you have to do a hotel, an event, of course, and get there. Some people drive, some people fly, but save your nickels and go to one. You don't have to go to them every time, but if you go to one of them, you're going to be impressed, and you're going to want to go back. I promise you are. So the Rocky Mountain out in Utah, and the one in Lebanon, Tennessee, the Renegade, the one that I just posted out there of getting 12 carvings done. And I want you to know that Dave Stetson scolded me in his class. I'm not allowed to do 12 carvings in his class. So I'm going to cut out 12 ornament Santa Claus heads and do these in his class tomorrow. No, that's not true. But anyway, so anyway, the Rocky Mountain and the Renegade. Save your nickels. Go. Go, go, go. Okay. Roger Stiegel showed me this Renegade. I got there. Oh my God, what a great event. Also, at the Renegade is this young lady. Her name is Holly Smithen. I met Holly Smithen in the Helvey world, which, in my opinion, I can't talk about anybody else, but in my opinion, I don't have a Ron Wells knife. I don't have a few of these other knives that people have talked about forever. I know Bruce Ankeny talks about this fellow up there that made his knives. Um, I can't remember his name. Kaiser said, no, yeah, that's right, Kaiser said. But so I don't have these knives, but I met Helvey. In my opinion, Helvey is the best knife made. Period. I don't care what knife you put in your hand. Helvey is the best, in my opinion. So that's what you're getting in the auction today. You're getting my handle that I designed. Uh, I happen to like finger grooves, so uh, I bought that material from the Helvey. I put it together, and Rich sharpened it. So after I met the Helvey people, uh, everybody thinks that a knife doesn't make the big difference in carvings. You're wrong. A sharp knife and an attitude of I've got a Helvey or whatever, it helps. I'm not going to say it's going to make you a better knife, a better carver, but it will help your attitude. I promise. So that's when I got involved in the Helvey world, and I Rich is taking me under his wing a little bit and showed me a little bit of the knife making world, and it's fantastic because I've always wanted to be able to make a carving knife, and I've actually done that now. So uh, I tell you, that's another thing about going to all these events. You need to go to all these events to meet people. If you don't get out and meet people and to see what they do and talk about their experiences, you're never going to know anything except the one little bubble that you live in. So if you get out and meet people, it's going to be a whole lot better. And you're going to find out that there's a lot of these people that everybody thinks that the Helvey world is so bad because they can't get a knife for 15 months. Well, let me tell you something about Rich and Holly. They are some of the best people we've ever met. And you know what? They work their butts off, and they're they might appear snobbish because that you can't get a knife in 15 months, but it's not true. I promise you, it's not true. Uh, Holly's, by the way, is one of the best cooks in the world with food. So I like seeing her just so I can eat. Uh, so so get out and meet people. And if you want a Helvey knife and you don't want to wait your 15 months, go to an event where Helvey's at. They've got a table full of Helvey knives, and guess what? You can buy more than two if you want. So go. So after going to a few of these events, I got hooked up and going to a few shows also. Oh, and going to some of these carving shows. The one that I've been to the most is the one out in Charlotte. Uh, 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 that's a great event. You can enter your carvings. I mean, they've got a massive amount of carvings that people enter, and you can learn a lot just by walking around and looking at all these other carvings, and meet the people that actually carved them. They can tell you about their journey and getting from point A to point B also. Um, uh, I know that I was going to try to get to Smoky Mountains this year, but it didn't quite work out. But I plan on getting out there as soon as I can. Uh, been up to Converse, Indiana. It's a CCA run event. The it's a 3-day event versus a week long like the roundup in Utah and Lebanon, but awesome place, very small community up in the middle of corn country. It's in the middle of cornfields, and they got some great little mom and pop eating places up there, so you can have a great time up there also. Uh, let's see what else. The biggest, I didn't make it last year because of some of the other things, but I was able to make it out to Colorado Springs this year, thrown by the CCA, uh, Chris Hammock, Rich Weatherby, Carol Levy, all the CCA people. I can't name them all. Dave Stetson was there. Wayne Larimore, everybody was there. Uh, what a great place to be to see nothing but phenomenal carvings. I mean, the amount of expertise in that room uh, or gymnasium, whatever it was, is just astonishing. You can walk around in a daze all day long for 2 days looking at these carvings and never see something the same. Every one of them is different. Um, so here again, save your nickels. Uh, that's an annual event. You need to go. Uh, it is put on by the CCA guys. Uh, they have a big contest, and they also induct new carvers if there's an opening in the CCA. So, congratulations to Blake and Bruce this year. They were the new inductees, and I expect to see some expert carvings real soon. So, hopefully, we'll see them in events and be able to sit down at the table and get their expertise in showing us how they do carvings soon. Um, what else can I tell you? Um, okay, I can start showing you from start to finish. I I was looking around trying to get things together to uh I was looking around trying trying to figure out um what to show you from start to finish. And it's amazing. I thought to myself, I need to get rid of some of my carvings because it's I got a house full of carvings and I don't sell anything. I don't sell anything. So what I do is I carve things, and if people see things, I'll give it to you. It's as simple as that. So if you see anything, contact me and I'll send it to you. Anyway, this is what I call my Ryan Olson table. Uh, when I took Ryan Olson's class, uh, this is one of the class. This is the class that I took of him. Uh, Ryan Olson. That's another thing about these classes. Real quick, let me tell you about these classes. They're not just carving classes. They are uh, classes with a lot of information. I'm going to tell you right now, they give you more information that will help you be a better carver than you can ever imagine. One of the things that Ryan Olson's told you is to have a lot of cutouts sitting around. When you finish one, you can come up to the table and grab another one and keep on going. So every time, I don't know about you guys, but every time uh, I'm carving something and a magazine comes out or somebody posts something on Facebook or whatever, I want to stop what I'm doing and go cut that out and start carving it. I can't stay focused. So this is that table. I stop doing what I'm doing. I cut another one out. I stick it here and I go back to what I'm doing. So these are some of the very few carvings that I selected to show you today. I've already showed you some of my very first carvings. This one of the very first carvings. This was the first carving. I realize now does looks nothing like me. Okay, these right here. This was made by a guy named Doug Lincoln. Another YouTube thing. Actually, it was made by me, but it was his. It was his video. Um, as you can see, if you look close, this is not real good. The eyes, or anything like that. Some of the original stuff that I first did. Okay. Fast forward a year after that carving, and I tried to do a frosty, and it got to be a lot better. Not great, but better. So what I say is keep practicing. Then I saw another person on Facebook. Her name is Arlene Zoomer. She had these little characters. I thought these things were fantastic. Of course, I love gnomes. So I started doing her class. She had a class every Tuesday night, but life got in the way and she had to stop doing some of those. But she's got a lot of stuff out there. Her name is Arlene Zoomer. She's up in Pennsylvania, up there by Jim Heiser and oh my goodness, the other guy. um,
Bob Hershey.
Bob Hershey, which by the way, this is a Bob Hershey drawing. This is a class. His class, just like everybody else's class, is on Woodcarving Academy. And as you can tell, this is a later, let's see, 2022. So I'm actually getting a little bit better here. So keep taking classes. If you can afford them, you can't afford hotels, take the classes because they're all Zoom classes, just like we're doing right now. Okay. So here's some more stuff from Arlene to start out with. And they keep getting a little bit better each week. I didn't put a date on that, so I'm not sure exactly what time that was. Some more Doug Linker. This is what I started out with the Doug Linker and Arlene. Before I even knew what CCA was. Okay. Keep fast forwarding as it starts getting a little bit better. Everybody knows that I like Donald Ducks. This is my first Donald Duck carving. The very first one I ever did. I've always wanted to do that since I was 13 years old. And it took me until I think that's 2020 to get that done. By the way, Rich Weatherby does a clay class, and here's the clay class. That's Rich Weatherby clay class. If you've never done a clay class, you definitely need to do one. And Rich travels all over the place to do that stuff. Here's another one of Rich's carving. This is recent. You can tell this is the one that I did a more realistic face on. But that's only because Rich showed me how to do it. And that's what the kind of stuff that you get when you go see these people is to see their style of carving. Okay. So here is a Chris Hammett. I happen to love his barflies. This is the very first one that I did before I even knew who Chris Hammack was. I just found him on the internet, and I said, "Whoa, I like those." I ordered a few of them, and here it is. So there's the very first Chris Hammack. Notice the nose is not real good, not real good. But fast forward to my most recent, and here it is a couple years later. This is one of my favorites. By the way, you cannot have this one. I'm keeping this one. Some more Chris Hammett stuff is over here. Here's two more. I love his butterflies. Did you see those? Yeah, there you go. Love his butterflies. This is a Bob Thurston card. Okay, this guy right here is inspired. If Bruce Ankeny didn't know he was he's an influencer. He's an influencer. This was influenced by Bob Ankeny. Not bad. He stands eh, about 9 inches tall, made from a 3x3. Here's another one of my very first carvings. I like Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph. And this is, if anybody doesn't realize who this guy is, it's a guy named Burl Ives. Or at least my interpretation of Burl Ives. More stuff. These are all different classes that I can tell you about. Here's a Dwayne class. This is a Dwayne Oslo class. And you can get that on Woodcarving Academy. This right here is a Roger Stiegel class. So if you haven't figured it out, it's very, very important. If you want to learn more and more, to save your nickels and take a class. Okay, it's really, really important. Okay, this is a Kevin Applegate class. Rich Weatherby. If you also notice the theme here, I'm a very patriotic person. I love like a now. Has everybody heard of a magazine called Woodcarving? What is it? Woodcarving Illustrated. His magazine, it has 100 articles in every 3 months. When I get it, I like to carve at least one carving out of that each magazine. Well, this last one, I did 3 because I like them so much. Mark Ayers, you cut these out. If you have a bandsaw, if you don't have a bandsaw, you need to save your nickels and get one. This is Mark Ayers out of the magazine. This is Bob. Bob K. I'm just going to say Bob K. because I can't pronounce his last name. This is his clown. I loved it because he brought back my wonderful thoughts of clowns because that wasn't creepy. I don't like creepy clowns. This is also Bob's carving out of the magazine. It's called Frostbite. Yeah, I like Bob's stuff. Okay. Um, here's one of Sarah B. I can't pronounce her last name either. She lives in Utah. This is one stuff out of her books. So buy books. Okay, what else we got here?
Hey, Ducky, we had a question in the chat. What kind of bandsaw do you use?
Oh, that's a good question. I have 2 bandsaws. I use a Rikon 14-inch. It's pretty much a straight cutter. You can't do a whole lot with it, but it can get the job done if you use a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 blade. The other bandsaw I have is a Pegasus. Now that one's going to cost you a little bit. The one I got There's only one, of course, but it was $1,800. So, but I'm going to tell you right now, that bandsaw will cut off anything. Matter of fact, to get ready for Dave Stetson's class, I wanted to do a block and his rough out. This piece of chunk of wood right here, that chunk of wood, it's about 9 inches tall and it's 4 inches thick. And the Pegasus had no problems cutting that out. Easy. No problems whatsoever. So the Pegasus is the best one to get. If you're going to buy a bandsaw, I highly recommend the Pegasus. But here again, I know not everybody's rich. I understand it. Now, what else can you do? How about a Jim Heiser carving? By the way, the two knives, those are my two favorite blades. One of them is just a regular rough out blade, but the second one is my rendition of the Dwayne Godnell, what do they call that? The Juggernaut blade. That's my rendition of the blade. It's kind of an upsweep blade, but it's awesome. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to love it. Here's the famous Chucky knife from Rich Smithson. Oops, wrong way. Here's another one that I bought from him. The USA knife. Yes. For anybody that thinks that I get free stuff from Helvey, you're thinking again. They're a small business. They don't just give stuff away. Okay. What else can we do? We got we got Kel Green, the puppies. This is a John Overby. This is a John Overby. Mitch Partridge. This is Mitch. This is Dale. Another way that I personally get how to do things. Anybody ever heard of this store called Hobby Lobby? If you go to Hobby Lobby, they have stuff everywhere for every season. Well, for the 4th of July, I like to go see what kind of gnomes they have. And then I like to buy one for like $4 or $5. And I come home and carve it. This is let's see, where's it at? Oh my God. I lost it. Okay. Anyway, oh, I gave it away. That's right. That's right. This is what I bought. This is what I bought. I carved one of these. That's right. I gave that away to somebody because they like USA stuff anyway. But every 4th of July, I go get one and I carve it each and every year. I think there's another one. Here's my first one. So Hobby Lobby, go get their gnome or take pictures, whatever. Nobody's ever walked up to me in Hobby Lobby and says, "Don't take pictures." So you can get ideals. You can get ideals from anybody. I'm telling you, they're everywhere. Ideals are everywhere. Okay, so here's all the stuff. This right here, Chris Hammond, out of the magazine. Out of the magazine, you can do this stuff. Just get the magazine and follow their instructions step by step in every magazine. Step by step. I just I just took that to the renegade. And no, I didn't win, but it sure was nice to get the comments and say it was a good card. So go. So what else do I do? Let me throw Chris Hammock's uh, design class. That's a wonderful class. Um, Chris Hammock's design class. If you can afford that, you need to take it because it goes from start to finish. It shows you how to. Now this is Dave Stetson, but this is Dave Stetson's. But Chris shows you how to draw them, and then he puts it on wood, and then you carve it. You cut it out, you carve it. I'm coming to find out in Dave Stetson's class, which I'm going to promote also. I've only taken 2 hours with him so far, but I've come to find out, of course, he does the same thing. And one of the things that I liked about Dave Stetson and tried to take his class is I don't know the quote. I don't know the quote. But he said, everybody has some type of artistic ability. I remember that he say that in one of his videos. And it doesn't make a difference if you're the best artist in the world or if you're just a stick figure. Draw some. Draw some. I will hold on. The first time I ever saw this book was a guy named Bart Wilson. Bart Wilson, I took one of his Sunday fun days or whatever he did back in the day. And he proved this book out. I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of the best drawing books in the world. And I've seen a lot of other people also promote this book. It's by that fella that I was telling you Bruce uses his knife. It's a Marv Kaiser set. After everybody promoted this book, Bruce is the one that made me buy this book. He twisted my arm and told me that he'd hurt me badly if I didn't buy the book. So I bought the book. And by the way, Bruce was right. I hate to admit that, but he was right. I needed to buy that book. It's awesome. So again, the best thing I could tell everybody about the carving world is don't give up. Don't give up. I don't care how bad your first carving is. Don't give up. Keep going. Keep talking to people. And I have not met a person yet that has not allowed you to use their stuff. Not yet. Nobody says, "Oh, you can't do that. That's mine. You can't carve that. That's mine." No, that everybody wants you to use whatever you can use. I will tell you, one of the best things that I've found that is Dave Stetson is correct. Learn to draw a little bit. Chris Hammock, learn to draw a little bit. Rich Rutherby, another drawer. Learn to draw just a little bit. It doesn't make a difference. There's all kinds of tools out there to help you draw. And then you can draw stuff and cut things like this. I mean, if you can get a pattern, you can cut it out. And even if you have to cut it out with a coping saw, which I don't recommend, by the way, because that takes a long, long time. But if that's what you got, use it. Because not everybody can afford roughouts. You can't. Prices of wood is going back up. I'm telling you right now. A rough out, I used to buy a rough out, this rough out right now, Dave Stetson's rough out right now. A couple of years ago, this was like $25, but now it's 40. And it's not because Dave wants to make more money or Dwayne wants to make more money. It's because wood is going up. So keep in mind that these guys, I know a lot of people think that these guys are in here to make a lot of money, but these carvers don't make a lot of money with this stuff. I promise you. So most of them cannot afford to support themselves as artists. They have other jobs too. So you're no different than any of these CCA guys, except they are a lot better carvers than most of us. So don't give up. Save your nickels. Go to these events. Talk to people. Take these classes, online Zoom classes. They are awesome. I'm telling you. Show the box. Who wants what? My carving box? Is that what you want?
Yeah, there's a big demand for seeing your carving box, Ducky. So.
All right, I can do that. I just saw it. All right. This is my carving box. This is a few of my knives. Not all of them. I'm a knife junkie, if you didn't know that. So I probably have close to 200 knives. And you want to know a little secret? You want to know a little secret? I'm telling you right now. I might have 200 knives, but you know how many I can use at one time? Just one. I can't use two. So, but I do have my favorites. I made this from a guy. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. He posted it on Facebook. I saw it. I asked him for the plans. He sent them, and here's the toolbox. You can put a lot of stuff in this, like algae gel on one side. Of course, my knives, more knives. I've got my Navy stuff on one side. All right, this plane down here. Everybody see the plane? You see the plane? That plane is not mine. My son is a colonel in the Air Force, and he flies an F-22. Okay, here's some other stuff. I just made this for my son. Like I said, he's a colonel in the Air Force. I love these. I love these cutouts and Santa Clauses like this. And the reason I make a lot of these, I'm not gonna lie, is Blake. He started this. One of the first videos I watched was Blake doing his showing you how to do his Santa Claus cutouts. And here again, it's out there on YouTube. Go find it. I'm sure it's going to be on the Academy here soon, because Blake is one of the best Santa Claus, half Santa Claus guys out there. So here's all the stuff I just done at the Renegade. Like I said, you can do anything. I mean, there's just so much. There is so much stuff you can do out there. And like I said, don't ever give it. I'm going to tell you right now. And here again, I only use this word because that's what I was called. If the little retarded kid can do this and make it big in the world, okay? If I started out handicapped and I can make it, every person out there can do the same thing, same exact thing. I don't care who you are. I don't care. I don't care if it's if you can draw or you can't draw. I'm gonna tell you right now, you can do it. You really can, and you can teach other people how to do it too. There's another thing also. One more. A lot of people ask me. I don't know why people ask me this. Maybe it's because I like knives so much. But a lot of people ask me what knives do they need to start with. I personally think, I don't care what brand it is, I'm not gonna. I think it should be a Helvey, but I don't care what brand it is. Okay, you need three basic knives to start out. You need a rough out, a medium detail, and a small detail. If you have these three knives, you can pretty much carve anything. I can tell you that right now. Later on in your carving world, if you want to add an upsweep, they're awesome. Upsweeps are very versatile. Okay, but these three knives will start out with any carving, and like I said, it doesn't make a difference what brand it is. Okay, uh, I know there's a lot of people that are against gouges, but I don't know why. But you should probably learn to use gouges also. Gouges are your friend. They make things a whole lot easier. And here again, just some basics. Just basics. Uh, basic gouges. Three. They're all. I don't know why. I don't know why, but most of them are odd numbers. 3, 5, 7, 9. You get those basic ones, you're going to be okay. And then if you get a V tool, there you go. So it don't mean much. It costs a little money. It costs a little money to get started. It does. It costs a little money to get started. But once you get done with the first initial buy stuff, the only thing you're really going to be buying is wood after that. So I think what else you need to do? Is there anything else you need to go over, Blake?
No, I think that's it. If you just want to tell again about the knives, the fact that you made those, and
like I said, one of them is just a regular basic rough out knife. And keep in mind these blades, they were sharpened by Rich, not me. Now I did put everything together. I made these knives. I bought the material, like this one here, for example. All right, this is my rendition of I can't know if you're telling or not.
yeah,
Of the Juggernaut blade. This is the style of blade that's on one of the knives there. It's kind of an upsweep knife, but it's a pretty versatile knife. That's one of the blades. I personally like finger grooves in my knives because of my grip. I think they're easier to hold on to, and that's why I made the handles that I did. One of them is a John Overby handle that's got finger grooves in it. So I didn't come up with all of this stuff. This is a Helvey thing. I'm a big Helvey supporter, so I happen to like their stuff, and that's what I use.
All right, Doug. Well, we are at about 15 after 4 on Eastern Coast, Eastern Standard Time. So I'll go ahead and stop you at this point. Just want to say thank you for coming in and sharing with us and telling us about your journey. It really does show that, it doesn't matter where you start from. If you have the desire to carve and you want to get involved, there's ways of getting information. There's ways of taking classes and things. Even if you're doing it through YouTube and not spending a lot of money, there's a way to get involved. But some of these other things that you talked about, it really helps you step up to the next level. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing. I want to say thank you for donating the knives. Again, these are 2 great knives, and like he said, he made the handles. He mounted the steel for the blades, and then Rich came in and sharpened those. So we'll go ahead and call the auction at this point. It looks like Gigi, you are the winning bidder, so you'll stay on. here at the end of the meeting, we'll go ahead and gather your information and get those out to you. Just want to say thank you all for coming in today. Thanks for spending this afternoon with us on the International Association of Woodcarvers. Tune in next week where Ashton Brown from Badger State Blades will be coming on and presenting with us. That's on the 28th. Again, she's worked with Denny Neubauer on developing her knives, and seem to be some great knives also. So make sure you tune in, hear about her story, and hear what you can gather from her. So thank you all for joining us today on the International Association of Woodcarvers. We'll see you all next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode. Thank you all.
And then just intro at the end of it. Make sure you say, welcome to the International Association of Woodcarvers.
Yes.
And so
And we can do as many takes as we want to. So
Yep.
No
And
pressure.
I can edit. If you mess up something or if you need me to do something else, it's fine too. So whenever you're ready, you can go, brother.
The International Carving, what is it again? I'm sorry.
International Association of Woodcarvers. International Carver People of Wood Chucking. And
Yeah, it don't matter. They know who we are.
yeah,
Gotcha.
we can edit it.
IAWC.
That's right.
All right. So I'll be recording, and whenever you are ready.
Oh, I'm sorry. How's that?
Perfect.
That'll work, brother.
That's good.
We can use it. Let's see. Let's stop recording.